Welcome back, everybody, to the Rec Room podcast with Brian Rector. And today, it's episode 24, if you can believe that. This is a show that we've been rolling out since Halloween night of 2024. And it's kind of crazy, actually, that we've been able to do that many episodes, but I love it. And the reality of the situation, as we have it here today, is that I wanted to get back to action with Michigan State athletes. We kind of had strayed away a little bit to folks who are across the country, different schools, different industries, but we're back to the bread and butter. So without further ado, I want to introduce and say thank you to Remini Tillotson, who is a junior defender for Michigan State women's soccer and who had come over from another school and finds a way to East Lansing. So Rem, thank you for joining and appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So how are you doing? What's going on? Talk to me about life.
Yeah, pretty good. Just in the middle of spring season. We had our first game against Eastern last weekend. Got the dub. Just getting used to, we had a few early enrollees, getting used to playing with some new players, and just in the off season, just grinding day to day.
That's right. And so talk to me about, like, what is it like for you to have been somewhere for 2 years and now you're somewhere else and you're beginning to kind of, start to fit in, build the culture. And as you said, meet with new enrollees and do all that stuff.
Yeah. I think everything comes with its challenges, but I think it's been really cool to have a new opportunity, be with different girls, different coaching staff, be close to home's really, really nice. But yeah, I mean, I would say that definitely the first few months were a transition, just getting used to new environment, new place, way bigger school. I think just navigating all of that, but then after that, it's just been kind of pretty smooth, being close, getting a lot closer with the girls and getting used to coaching style, playing style here and everything, and it's just really enjoyable now.
Sure. And one of the things that I heard from you the other day when we were chatting back and forth in prep for this show is that you hadn't done an interview quite like this.
No.
And I went, what in the world? Like, are you serious? Come on.
Yeah.
But here's why I say that is the preface of our show is asking one question, and the one question is, what is a question that you would prefer to answer and speak on? So talk to me. What do you have?
Okay, I actually forget what my question was for it, but I think it was, what was it? Was it why I do this, or what was
Basically, yeah. Like, the essence of what I saw from you was, what is my purpose in life?
Okay, yeah.
And then your answer to that is what?
Yes, definitely what is my purpose in life. And I would say my two main goals is to love God and love others. And the best way to do that, I would say, in my day-to-day is just really trying to have an attitude of gratitude and service, serving my teammates and trying to be a leader on and off the field through my actions and also through my words. But I would just say, that's my goal for every day, is that I can love God and glorify Him through my actions and my words and how I serve my teammates.
Sure. And I know that something that you have just recently kind of picked up is being a worship leader at Commons Church.
Yeah.
Where in the world did that come from? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I grew up taking guitar lessons once a week, every Wednesday, starting 5th grade, and I just really loved music, music theory, just harmonizing, blending music, blending instruments. I just thought it's like such a beautiful way of worship and also just like enjoyment. So I just like really grew an interest and passion for music. I always kind of like loved doing it, playing and singing, and so it kind of has always been something in my heart that like joining a worship team would be really cool and special. I think nerves always just kind of came in a little bit, and also just was never really settled down at a place since I was, very new at TCU my freshman year, and then sophomore year was kind of in an idea like knowing I might have an idea of leaving. So I think now just being like settled in a place, knowing I'm going to be here for another year is just really exciting. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to go for it. I'm just going to try out, and I'm like going to listen to God's little push, and if it works out, it works out. If not, I know I listened, and it wasn't a part of His will. And so I went and tried out, and I was like so nervous because it was my first time I had to like memorize music fully, like chords and lyrics and everything, like no paper to read off of. And it was just such a cool experience. Like even just the tryout, I was singing with 2 other guys who are on the worship team there currently, and it was just like such a moment of praise and worship, and it was just like such a cool time. And then they called me a week later, and they were like, we're super excited to have you a part of the team. I did a little onboarding meeting, which was really cool to see how they, just their characteristics and the the main themes that they have for everybody who's a part of the team to carry out in life outside of the church is just super cool, and it was really cool to hear from them. So yeah, I'm super excited about it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I know one thing that the Commons does really well is their worship.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to kind of see you up there. That's going to be good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Talk to me about the differences between being at Michigan State, a place that's regarded as kind of this uber secular place, compared to being at TCU, which has the word Christian written into it.
Yeah.
But I think one of the misconceptions is that sometimes it's not always what it seems.
Yeah.
So what was TCU like from a faith perspective and different from Michigan State?
Yeah. I would say, yeah, it definitely has, the context with having Christian in the name, that it would be super overwhelmingly, faith-based. But I would just say, like every college campus, it has its challenges with,
Sure.
worldly desires and passions. So I think, I would say it's, pretty similar to Michigan State, but they had a really good, similar to AIA, Athletes in Action.
Okay.
It was called Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and that really led me to take another step in my faith when I got there my freshman year, and especially with some of the leaders on my team when I was there as a freshman. Some of the upperclassmen were really, really helpful in encouraging my faith and figuring out that my identity doesn't come from soccer. They were just really good leaders and examples in that. So still with its challenges that Michigan State has too, but having that community, I think, also really encouraged me.
I really appreciate what you just said, and I think it's kind of not a buzzword, but it's kind of a buzz phrase.
Yeah.
Is like, my identity doesn't come from my sport. Though I want to do a spin on that question, is like, when did you realize that using the game of soccer could be a vessel to glorify Him?
Yeah, for sure. I would say in high school, seemed a little bit easier, just because high school competition's a little different than national competition.
Sure.
But yeah, I would say junior, senior year. I played high school soccer my senior year, and I think just having a lot of the younger girls who also wanted to try and pursue college soccer, have them look up to me and be able to have some really deep conversations, and also just kind of guide them through that a little bit. I think just serving them with that, advice, and just telling them that, I'm super excited about going to play in college, but also knowing no matter what, I'm loved the same because I'm saved and I'm a daughter of the King. I think being able to share that with them in high school. And I'd also say probably now, freshman year, sophomore year, I was really just trying to figure it out. I always believed in God, but I think I didn't really have dependency on Him till I realized no matter what, nothing's going to fulfill me besides Him. So I think just being able to share that and leading Bible study with one of my teammates, Ella Jans, has been really cool. Super fun to just be able to share the truth with my teammates, and especially the younger girls who just got here too.
So how have you seen the culture of your team moving? Has it kind of shifted and changed since you've kind of walked on at campus?
Yeah, it's actually been really cool. So we had some two girls on the team last year, Gabby Mueller and Mackenzie Anthony, were really awesome, and Justina Gaynor were great at leading us in Bible study last year. They'd always host us at their place, and just they put this they were a stepping stone for us to kind of pick up on it and keep growing the platform of Christianity, and also just having that community on our team, a different level than just on the field, but different relationship, depth. So I think just them starting it off has kind of led to this spring being another step in the right direction. It's been really cool. One day we found out our coaches do this thing where they surprise us with the beep test. We never know when. And so I remember the second time, I talked to EJ, Ella Jans, and I was like, let's just pray. And I had literally 5-6 other girls just join in the circle and just pray right in front of our coaches. And it was just really cool, being able to rely on each other and trust each other, and just know that, we're not out to get each other. We want to push each other, but we love each other and want what's best for each other. So it's just been really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think too, that's something that reminds me of a moment that occurred when we were in spring break in Panama City, Florida. We were in a restaurant and we're praying around the table. There were 11 of us.
Yeah.
And when we're doing it, I feel a hand on my shoulder, and I was I knew who was sitting to my right and my left, and I know those guys, love those guys. And I was that's neither of them.
Yeah.
So who is that? And we get done, and I turn around, and there's 8 people who had joined in the restaurant in prayer with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. when I heard you say that, I went, oh, okay, yeah, that's good.
It's really cool. Even this morning at our Bible study, we've been getting a good group of girls. Sometimes we'll go from like 8 to 15, and we do different apartments. And this morning we're like, we'll do mitten race. We love that bakery.
Sure.
And so we're like, let's go there. And we were literally overflowing. It was like 12, 13 of us around an 8-person table, just like everyone's just thirsty for the truth and for love. And I'm like, it's so fun to be in community with people who want and are curious to continue to grow their relationship.
Yeah.
I'm like, what a blessing. I'm like, yes, it's a hassle to gather all these chairs, and, you know, we probably look crazy, but like just people even seeing our Bibles on the tables, and, you know, everything's just a way to lift up this campus and this school. It's really cool.
Do you think that in your walk there was a turning point in your journey? Like, can you point to an event or something, maybe a time period, that you're saying that's when it started to happen?
Yeah. I grew up in a Christian household, so I always kind of knew the story and the gospel that Jesus died for my sins and saved me, and whoever believes in him will have eternal life. But I think the real change in my heart was the fall of my freshman year at TCU. I was struggling, fighting for playing time, and just kind of realized that college sports is a lot harder than I think I thought it was going to be.
Sure.
Smooth sailing in high school, and I'm like, oh, maybe it will be the same, you know. There's a lot of really good soccer players out there. So I think I just got to this low point of like, hold on, like when everything's not going well, like what do I do? You know, how do I still have peace? And I just remember literally specifically driving home from our training right before the Sweet 16 my freshman year. I was literally in the bus ride, and some people know this story, but I was in the bus ride and there's snow everywhere. And I was living in Texas, so I'm just like, oh my gosh, you know, I didn't want any snow. And our bus ride was supposed to take like 30 minutes, took like an hour and a half. And I'm literally like, had my Bible and my journal in my backpack, and I'm like, you know what? I guess I'll just bring it out. There's nothing else to do. I'm like, my TikTok wasn't loading and all these things, and I'm just like, fine, I'll just get it out. And I was like, I'm just gonna stay committed to him and being in his word, and like kind of just see what happens, you know. I'm like, there's no harm in trying at this point. Absolutely. I was at such a low point, and I just feel like taking that step of courage and faith and putting it in him just really shifted everything in my heart.
Most definitely. And then, you know, talking about more recently, right? Like, what are some of the ways, and I know we've touched on a few of them, but what is something that maybe is kind of not going unnoticed, but more subtle, of like, how is he working in your life?
Yeah, I would say just in the day-to-day, as I continue, I'm approaching my last fall, my last season of college soccer. I think just like trusting him in my day-to-day moments. It's really easy to get just caught up in life, you know, caught up in the routine and caught up in what I want to do in my day. And I think just humbling myself and knowing that his plan is greater than anything I could ever think of or want, even when things don't go my way or the things that I think should happen don't happen. I think just continuing to trust in his plan. And, you know, I have no clue where I'm going to be in 10 months, 11 months, hopefully somewhere still playing. But I think just, you know, knowing that he has a greater plan has been a way for me to continue to trust him.
Sure. That's what I actually wanted to ask you, is like, we know, and I think we all feel this, he's already graduated and he and I are on the way out. But how do you feel about the fact that a chapter's closing and, you know, things are shifting and changing?
I think it's a scary part of life, but I also think it's really exciting, you know. I never knew growing up I was going to be back home at Michigan State, but I'm super grateful to be here and wouldn't want anything else. So I think just being excited of the unknown, obviously scary, but just continuing to do the things right now to make me the best that I can be in that time of change. But yeah. Sure.
What is one piece of advice to a younger you that you might give at this point?
Ooh, I think just like enjoy it and have fun. There's so many times where get caught up in the worries and stress of life. I think just like making the most of the day to day, like literally hang out with the friends that you were scared to hang out with, or have courage in asking people to hang out even if you don't really know them, and maybe not worrying about what other people think so much, especially younger me. Because in the end of the day, people are so worried about themselves, they're not even thinking about you, you know? So just be you and have fun.
Yeah. Well, Rem, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. How do you feel about doing a little rapid fire segment?
Let's do it.
Out of here? Cool. So without further ado, folks, this is Rolling Loud on the Rec Room. Let's go. Let me ask you something. What are 3 words to describe your life right now?
Grind. Grind. Growth. I'm not trying to do all G's, but that would be cool. Grind, growth, and truth.
Okay, yeah.
Do you want me to explain them, or?
Yeah, hit me with growth.
Okay, growth.
Yeah.
I would say on the field and also just personal. I was in a relationship for a long time, and I'm not in one now, so I think just kind of growing on my own and figuring out who Rem is without, somebody else. So definitely growth.
Most certainly. And here's one that might be a little bit tough.
Oh, no.
might be a little bit hard to answer.
Yeah.
In order for your 2025 to be the most complete or the most satisfying, what has to happen?
Yeah, I think just continuing to pursue my relationship with Christ. I mean, that's number one. Circumstances and environment changes all the time, so I think just staying rooted in the truth and in my relationship with Him, I think would make 2025 the most fulfilling for sure.
Give me your best Coach Hostler impression.
Oh gosh. I was literally thinking about this. Whoever knows Coach Hostler or Jeff knows that he is the biggest shoe lover. So I was going to make a little joke about him saying he doesn't have that many pairs of shoes. And his house is literally filled with boxes. At least like 20, 30K of like shoes in there. So he's a shoe collector.
Woo-wee! Man, if y'all need shoes, don't go to Coach Hostler's house. That's all we got. What is your favorite worship song?
Ooh, probably Gratitude by Brandon Lake.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not sure. I switch up all the time, but that's a good one.
Okay, yeah. Have you heard the recent one, I Know a Name? That's by Brandon Lake and Elevation, and it's a collaboration. It's fire.
Okay, I need to listen to that.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I'm like so bad with names of songs, so I'm sure it might sound familiar.
I'm not gonna sing it for you because that wouldn't be very fun. Admittedly, that would be kind of low. But the last thing I wanted to ask you is actually 2 things. One, what are your most important influential verses from the Word that you reside on, rest in?
Ooh, okay. I might need to look on my phone for these. I'm bad at memorization.
Sure, me too.
All right, let me look.
Yeah. No worries.
I know I have them saved. Sorry, like no service out here.
Gonna have to start playing the Jeopardy themes. No.
Let's see. I'll just look at some I have screenshotted now.
Sure.
I'm doing the reading the Bible in a year.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I sometimes will screenshot ones that I like that stand out to me right
Sure.
now. So this is Psalm 23:3. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for name's sake. And then Psalm 23:4. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff comfort me. That's one of my favorites. And then I'm trying to see if I have another one. Sorry.
No worries.
My mom would kill me if she knew I didn't have these memorized.
That's so good.
All right, maybe that's all I've got for now.
Okay, absolutely. Then lastly, before we get out of here, is who are some of the folks you would like to shout out and recognize for where you are, where you've come from, and how the Spirit continues to move within you?
Yeah. Definitely my mom. My mom is a huge believer, and she's also just helped me every single day just know my worth and my truth. So definitely my mom, and I would also just say like all my teammates, even the ones that I'm not maybe as close with anymore, but from high school, from my last school, from here, just for pushing me to become a better player in person. And my coaches as well. Even the ones at TCU I'm really grateful for, because if it wasn't for my experiences I had there, I wouldn't be who I am today. So I just think everyone who's helped me, even if it seems like a little bit to them, in making me who I am right now. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And folks, that's what we have for the Rec Room episode 24. with yours truly, Remini Tillotson. And up next, we got Akasha Anderson from Purdue Women's Volleyball. That'll be coming very shortly. So excited for that one as well. But Rem, thank you.
Thank you.
We hope y'all extrapolate and extract all the nuggets of wisdom out of this one on how to keep your journey moving forward. And we'll see you next time.